What's going on, you guys? James Lights Out Toney gets asked about two fights that a lot of fans are interested in. A fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, and a fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Now, we heard what James Toney had to say in the past in regards to Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. He said things like Errol Spence can't spell fight, and just Terrence Crawford is better by a mile. Terrence Crawford stops him within 6 rounds or 9 rounds, something like that. He's been very outspoken on who he got going into that fight. He also gets asked about Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis, a fight that we don't know if it's going to happen at all. It seemed like Golden Boy, Ryan Garcia, seemed like they really want to fight at this particular time. It seems like they want to fight. However, it seems like Tank Davis' side, Mayweather Promotions, they're not answering the phone, according to Oscar De La Hoya. But James Toney nonetheless give his thoughts on these fights. Check it out.
Thoughts are about that bout if they were to get together, James?
If that fight happens, it's gonna be a wonderful fight. But you know what? Errol Spence can't beat Terrence Crawford. It ain't happening. Terrence Crawford is the one that came out.
He said that Terrence Crawford is gonna knock him out. He said that Errol Spence can't beat Terrence Crawford. And if you see the look in his face, he seems so serious about it, right?
Yeah, he's the best. Hey, Terrence Crawford right now, in my mind, and in a lot of people's minds, he is the best pound fighter in the world. Even last year, when your boy Canelo was supposed to be top fighter. But no, Terrence Crawford is the man.
What about Terrence Crawford? Legend after legend after legend sign off on Terrence Crawford. What is it about the eye test?
And speaking about the legends signing off on Crawford, Julian Jackson also recently got asked about the fight. Of course, the media, the journalist guys are going to do their job and ask the legendary guys, the guys of yesterday, what do they think about the big fight of today? And Julian Jackson gets asked, and Julian Jackson says that Crawford stops Errol Spence. He says that Crawford is going to knock out Errol Spence. It seemed like a lot of the fighters from yesterday really favored Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford, for you, James, as a legend, that makes you give him the nod.
I see everything. Hey, look, he see everything I see. Basically, as I can say what I mean by that, he tries everything I did, and it's worked for him. And you see your IQ, it brings you up. The way I fight, bring your IQ up automatically. You know what I'm saying? And he do that, no problem. Hey, I said, this is something different for Errol Spence. He never seen nobody like this.
He said that Errol Spence ain't never seen nobody like this. And if we're honest, he hasn't. He really hasn't. I already gave my thoughts on the fight. I think that Terrence Crawford stylistically is a bad matchup for Errol Spence Jr. I could be wrong, but I think stylistically he's just a really bad fight for him.
Definitely. And James, lastly, I'd like to ask you, a lot of talk in boxing about Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. What's your thoughts on them if they did get together?
Are you serious? Are you serious? Yeah, he is serious. Mismatch, murder. Ryan Garcia better stay out of Tank Davis' way. Ryan Garcia can't spell fight.
There you go again, y'all. He says that Ryan Garcia can't spell fight. He said in the past that Errol Spence can't spell fight.
And that's coming from the boxing master himself. I know who can fight, who can't. He can't fight.
There you have it.
He says, I know who can fight and who can't. Ryan Garcia can't fight. He can't fight. So according to legendary James Toney, Ryan Garcia can't fight. It's got to be kind of like, it's got to hurt a little bit, right? To kind of hear somebody you may have grew up watching or grew up really being a fan of, say something like this about you. but you can't take it personal. You know, he said they can't fight. You know, he said this about Spence in the past. Spence going to have to prove him wrong in the ring against Terrence Crawford. And Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, we don't know. We don't know if that fight is happening at all, right? I would like to believe that it would happen, but at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. It's been pretty quiet, and usually when it's quiet, usually they're working out things behind the scenes. But as far as I know, the fight between Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis likely isn't going to happen. It's unfortunate, but that's just what it is. But whatever the case, James Toney says Ryan Garcia can't fight. He says dude can't fight. You know, Tank Davis is going to destroy him. It's a mismatch. It's murder, right? It's a mismatch. Don't put him in there with him. And you heard a few fighters come out and say this about Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Don't put Tank, Leo Santa Cruz say, hey, man, you don't want to get in there with this guy, etc. Kind of warning Ryan Garcia to stay away from Gervonta Tank Davis. But yeah, man, James Toney's very outspoken as usual. He just had a birthday recently. Salute to the legend. Happy birthday, James Toney. But yeah, man, it's funny. People don't like when these guys come out with their own opinions on these fights. James Toney is one of the few guys that's going to really tell you exactly how he feels about it. And he don't care what you think about it, right? But yeah, you guys, James Toney says Ryan Garcia can't fight. He can't spell fight, and he knows who can actually fight and who can't. But yeah, man, November 19th, T-Mobile Arena. You heard it here first. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.